How did the quiet kid ruin the popular kid's reputation? Beat the shit out of him. The quiet kid warned him several times to stop bullying him. Popular kid wasn't so popular after. I was the quiet kid. Was bullied by the popular kid a lot. The day after my dad passed away, he came up to me and started making fun of me in front of people. I just said, "Please. My dad just died," and walked away. I'm not sure what happened after, but people were sympathetic, and he didn't seem to have his pose hanging out around him as much after that. He simply filmed the popular kid 20+ times tormenting people and showed them to the principal and posted them online. Had a couple of instances during high school, both pretty stereotypical. One of the Douchies guys I played football with got his ass kicked at a party by a nerd after messing with him too much. Turns out that nerd trained frequently at a local judo dojo. The other was having one of the more popular girls in school getting outhead by the not so popular guy she was secretly hooking up with. She was the biggest bitch to most people, him included. So when screenshots of them sting got leaked, she didn't handle it too well. A not so standard story, I guess. So a popular guy on our football team was notorious for being a really nice guy, but he was also not so bright. He knew he had this reputation, but he was pushing himself and signed up for honors classes. And this shy guy happened to be in the same class as him. Well, because the popular kid had a hard time learning the material, he often asked a ton of questions, and sometimes the questions seemed to be pretty simple, and these simple questions annoyed the quiet kid. So the quiet kid and his friends start making fun of the popular guy behind his back, making memes and sending them to each other. As time goes on, they start getting bold and make the jokes and memes amongst themselves in class with the guy. Eventually, quiet kid and his friends gets annoyed and bold enough to start anonymously harass popular guy online, and even sometimes printing the memes mocking popular guy and putting them places where he know he'll find them. Popular guy went to teachers and the principal, but no one was really doing anything to help his situation. Eventually, popular guy figures out the quiet kid is one of the people who's harassing him, and he beats the ever-loving shit out of the kid. And I mean, he sent the kid to the hospital. Popular guy is easily 6+ inches taller, and he's pretty strong for his age at this point. And the quiet kid is this tiny little nothing. Just this short, weak, mousy looking kid. Popular guy ends up getting a pretty severe punishment, 2-week suspension, restraining order making him leave classes 5-10 minutes early and unable to attend school events like sports and clubs he was in. Community service, but isn't expelled or arrested because of the shy kid's history of bullying him, and it's more of a rage-induced retaliation than a planned out way to harm. The quiet kid goes unpunished by anyone because what happened to him was enough punishment. As for the social repercussions, popular kid very quickly lost his nice guy reputation and immediately was vilified by the majority of other students and teachers because of the beatdown, and a lot of people don't know the full story. The quiet kid was put on this pedestal of "oh poor you, did you ever deserve that beatdown?" and got all sorts of sympathy. I happened to be pretty friendly with the popular kid this happened to, and he often talked about his treatment throughout this whole thing, and it made me very sad. Popular kid is doing well enough nowadays. Graduated and got a trade job. Just made his last year of high school hard to get through after he got so ostracized. As for quiet kid, no clue. Wasn't close with him. We had this one kid who was a homophobic, racist, soul frat dude type guy. Rather large, 6'3", and my grade only had 70 kids, so you could never really avoid him. Anyway, he would shove people into walls and call them F words and N words and all that. But he was the crown jewel of this little private school. Captain of the basketball football team type deal. Girls loved him. Smoking hot girlfriend. Not so much the stereotypical quiet kid, but this more low-key type of guy I knew. Slept with Bully's ex-girlfriend after they broke up, and she confided in him for whatever reason that Bully was packing like 4 inches. Of course the word got out, and when someone brought it up to Bully, I remember he turned tomato red immediately and all his confidence just vanished. And then he never really bothered people anymore cause they'd just bring up his smelled, and he would never have a good comeback. Honestly, I'm not one for body shaming, and I kinda regret contributing to that, but it made him shut up and leave me alone. The funny part was he was like respectful to me after that, and even kinda friendly lol. It just goes to show you that pretty much everyone is insecure and ducked up about something. No matter how big or bad or popular they are. I am. You are. We all have that thing. I gave him all the wrong answers to the final exam. He had been copying off me for years and absolutely trusted my answers, but was clearly using me. His GPA dropped, and so did his scholarship. He kept talking shit about her. How she was ugly. He'd been telling her to keep quiet about what they were doing. She got hurt. She started sharing his thirsty texts with people. He'd been using words like love, and we'll get away from all this, and I don't know why I'm making this so difficult, but you mean so much to me. Despite being high schoolers, people near uniformly realized this made him a weird douchebag. The popular kid insisted on bullying the shy kid. The shy kid defeated the popular kid in the spelling bee. They ended up dating a few years later. A popular boy was waking me up in the bus during a school trip while I was very tired and obviously trying to sleep, so I poured a bottle of water on him. He stopped and spent the rest of the trip 6 hours with a wet seat. A bit of an off-the-cuff story. Popular kid is from rich family, so many opportunities afforded to him. He was in all the sports ball pictures, every club, mega ego from all of this. Gets a free ride to college from a scholarship he was getting one anyway, and the quiet kid goes into the military, comes out to be a police officer in my town. In the 7 years I've been out of high school, the popular kid dropped out of college, gets addicted to meth. He's now in a state prison because he shot at police and took a preacher hostage, but 2 years ago there was a festival in the town square. Popular kid streaks past everyone, gets immediately tackled and tased by police, including quiet kid who's now an officer. Popular kid recognizes him and still has the audacity to call him by the nickname he gave him when he bullied him in high school. No one likes him now. I was the quiet kid. A kid bullied me every morning during my senior year. I finally started accusing him of being in love with me and constantly flirting with me. I called him sweetheart, precious, and Snookums. His nickname was Snookums for the rest of high school. True story. I had a nickname at school, Chicken Boy. I don't know where it came from or why. One day I'd had enough of this huge bully called Paul. So after a few pushes and names called, I snapped, broke his nose, and cut his eyebrow, and I got promoted to Turkey Boy, haha. It did stop the popular boy from picking on me and brought me out of my shell. Put powdered clam, milk, cheese, fish food into popular kid's bag. The class did the rest. And quiet kid also sent popular kid the wrong answers for an upcoming test. True story. My older sister was the shy kid who's being bullied by the popular kid. Unfortunately, I was the shy kid's sister, so I went to their classroom in front of the class and called out the popular kid and her minions. I asked them if any of them could take me outside our school. I'll be waiting from 3-5 in the afternoon. Nobody showed up, and my sister didn't get bullied again. I was in 4th grade. My sis was in 5th. I was the quiet kid in 6th grade. Group of 7th graders were constantly picking on me. At that time I was super tall. Buck teeth. You know, the most awkward stage of life. After some really serious threats and insults that were completely ignored, when I reported to a teacher, I decided to confront him the next day, went up to his table at the cafeteria, and started to stand up for myself. Him and his friends were pretty cruel. I kept on going as we were leaving lunch, getting pretty heated. A few kids even warned him to stop as it was clearly getting heated, and I was bigger than him. Can't remember what the last thing he said was, but pushed him into the wall. He bounced back. I punched him in the face pretty good. He got knocked back a few steps, and by then it was already broken up. Once all the information was given to principal, and he found out that I reported it to a teacher, and it was ignored, I got off scot-free. He was suspended for a week. The next year I came back much bigger, less awkward and much more confident. put myself out there, and during the first week, was now with the popular group. He was expelled a month or so into the year, after he threatened to bomb the school. Popular girl accidentally sent nudes to him instead of her boyfriend. He leaked them. Not the quiet kid, but the unpopular kid, let's call him you. Playing scrimmages during the last football soccer practice of the SZN. U's scrimmage team had an extra person, so they needed one player to sit each game. U's football team was shit to him all season, and forced him to sit out for as long as possible even though U is very good. Player on the other scrimmage team got injured. U switched teams, and filled in for the injured guy. U gets 1 minute 30 seconds to play. U's new team is losing by 1. Gets the ball, shoots 40 meters from the goal in the air, and scores an absolute screamer off a half volley. It went top right corner, tie game. It goes into penalties. One of the popular kid, who was captain of the scrimmage team that didn't let you play, missed his penalty. Fun stuff. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.